Hey there, future piano owner. So, you're thinking about a used piano, huh?
It's a big decision.
It is. It really is. But luckily, we've got Greg Kottman's 10 expert tips to buying a used piano.
Yeah.
And this deep dive is going to help us turn you into a savvy buyer, ready to find that perfect pre-loved instrument.
Absolutely. It's a great guy. Greg really knows his stuff. He's from Piano Pros.
Okay, so let's jump into tip number 1. It's like detective work, right? Where has this piano been? Who's played it? What kind of care has it received?
Yeah, that history is crucial, especially with used pianos. You know,
Mhm.
to understand its past. A piano with a well-documented history, it's like finding a gem with a certificate.
Oh, yeah.
If the current owner bought it new, they should have the full story. But if they bought it used, well, there might be gaps. And those early years, man, those can be important.
You've really got to know what you're getting into. Tip number 2 takes us into the piano's environment. Imagine like a beautiful grand piano in a climate-controlled music room
Right.
versus an upright crammed into a damp basement, battling like crazy temperature.
Oh, yeah, those are extremes. But it illustrates the point. Temperature and humidity can really mess up a piano.
Oh.
Think about it. Wood expands and contracts. That can lead to cracks in the soundboard.
Oh.
Yeah, and warping keys.
Hmm.
Even problems with those tuning pins.
And let's not forget, like, the ick factor. A visual inspection. I mean,
Yes.
you can see smoke damage, maybe pet hair, even bugs. You don't want to bring that home.
Open it up, both the top and the fall board, and just look inside. Check for moisture, chewed parts, or smells. Trust your nose.
Yeah, I can practically smell that musty basement piano. All right, tip number 3, tuning and maintenance. We all know a car needs an oil change. Well, a piano needs tuning to stay in shape.
It's true, and even piano that's been like really well maintained might need some TLC after years of just sitting there.
Right, right.
Think of tuning as calibration.
Yeah.
Ensuring its accuracy and how responsive it is.
It's amazing how those subtle changes can really impact a piano. You can kind of tell when it needs attention, even if you're not a technician.
Yeah. But a professional can spot those things that we miss.
Totally.
They can really check the action, the mechanism that translates your keystrokes into sound.
Ooh, very cool. Tip number 4 is the sound check. This is where you play detective with your ears.
Yeah. Take your time, play each key, listen for consistency, the tone, the volume, any dead notes. Does the sound ring clear or is it muffled?
I love how Greg says to play each note slowly, then quickly across the keyboard, like you're giving it a physical. And let's be honest, a bad tone, it's not going to fix itself.
Exactly. A poor tone can mean all sorts of issues. Worn hammers, problems with the soundboard.
Now, tip number 5, the feel of the keys. Run your fingers over them. Pay attention to how far they go down. Do they feel even?
Yeah, and if you've got uneven keys or side-to-side movement, that can be a bad sign. Pointing to problems with that action we talked about.
It shouldn't feel like a wrestling match, right? So, tip number 6, inspecting the cabinet. We've all seen it, the piano as a table.
Oh, yeah.
People just put stuff on it. But all those books, lamps, they can really cause damage. Scratches, watermarks, all sorts of wear and tear.
Don't forget potential spills, too. Really check it out, inside and out. Look for damage, warping, any discoloration.
And remember what we said about the piano's environment, that moisture damage.
Exactly. It all comes full circle.
Okay, tip number 7, it's kind of different. It asks, who played this piano? It's like adding some personality.
Right. It's fascinating to think about its past life. Was it played by a serious student or neglected? A piano played by, say, a musician might have a better chance of being in good condition.
That makes sense. They probably understand the importance of tuning and all that.
Exactly.
Okay, tip number 8. Greg wants us to understand the seller's motivation. Why are they getting rid of it?
A good reason gives you context. Like, are they upgrading, downsizing, or are they trying to dump a problem? Listen to their story.
It's all about those clues. Tip number 9 gets practical. Placement and aesthetics. How will it fit in your home?
Yeah, a piano is often the focal point of a room. You want to like how it looks. Is it a grand piano that'll stand out? Or a sleek upright that blends in?
Like it's furniture, too.
Exactly. And don't forget, size and placement affect the sound. A grand in a big room will sound different than an upright in a corner.
We've made it to the final tip, number 10. The technician's verdict. They are the final word.
Think of them as the Sherlock Holmes of pianos.
I love that. Even with all this knowledge, there might be hidden things only a pro can see.
Yeah, they can assess the whole thing, the soundboard, the action, the strings, find any potential problems.
And they can tell if it's had any major work, like a soundboard replacement.
Right, and that's important for figuring out its value. A piano with lots of repairs might not be worth the price, even if it seems okay.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion to see what's really going on.
Exactly. The technician's report gives you the truth about the piano.
Wow, so much to consider. From its past life to the inner workings. It's amazing how much goes into choosing the right piano. What stood out to you the most about Greg's advice?
You know, it's really cool how it all kind of comes together like a puzzle. It's not just about the sound, you know? It's about the whole history of the piano, like where it's been, how it's been treated.
I'm really loving this idea of the piano as like a living thing. It has this history, and you're becoming part of it when you take it home.
Right, and each tip helps you uncover a new chapter of that story.
And it's not just wood and metal, it's an instrument with like a soul.
I love that. It reminds me of that tip who played this piano. It has a whole personality. Imagine a concert pianist playing it, versus someone just learning.
Yeah,
Totally different feel, right?
totally. And thinking back to the maintenance tip, a serious musician is more likely to have kept up with tunings and all that.
Exactly. Regular maintenance makes a huge difference.
And then there's the seller's reason for selling, right? If they're upgrading, they probably took care of it. But if they're desperate to get rid of it, red flag.
Yeah, you got to read between the lines. Greg's tips are great, but trust your gut too. If something feels wrong, walk away.
There are plenty of other pianos out there.
So many. You're making a big investment here, not just with money, but with your time and energy. This piano is going to be a part of your life.
Right. It needs to feel right.
Absolutely.
So we've talked about its past, its condition now, and its future in your home. Why does all of this matter to you, the listener, looking for that used piano?
This information gives you the power to make a good decision. It's an investment in your musical journey. A good used piano, it opens up a whole world of creativity.
More than just an instrument.
Way more. A companion for your creative side.
And think about it, years from now, someone else might be sitting at this piano, and you're part of its history.
Ooh, that's a cool thought. It's a legacy, passed down. Each player adds their touch.
Okay, let's go back to that last tip, the technician. Why is it so important to have an expert look it over?
Even after all the research you've done, there might be problems you can't see.
Right.
A technician can look beyond the surface. They'll check the soundboard, the action, the strings.
Like an X-ray vision for pianos?
Yeah. They can tell you if there's been any serious work done, like replacing the soundboard or rebuilding the action.
That's important, right?
Huge.
Yeah.
It helps you understand the true value. A piano with lots of repairs might not be worth the price, even if it looks good.
So the technician really gives you the whole picture.
The whole story.
We've talked about Greg's expert tips, explored the piano's history, and even considered the emotional connection you might feel. Now imagine this. Imagine you found it, that perfect used piano. You've done the research, you followed Greg's tips, and you found one you love. It's calling to you, beckoning you to sit down and play. Now what? What kind of music will you make?
Yeah. What stories will you tell on those keys? What emotions will you pour into it?
I'm getting chills. It's not just about finding a piano, is it? It's about your piano. The one that speaks to you, helps you express yourself,
It really is. It's about that unique musical journey.
And imagine, years from now, someone else might be playing the same piano, discovering its history, including you.
That's beautiful. It's a legacy. The music passed down, each player adds their own part.
So to all our listeners out there, go find that piano. Armed with all this knowledge, may your search be filled with joy, discovery, and a little bit of magic.
Happy playing, everyone.